What up, Young Grief fam? What up, everyone, Young Grief fam? Naomi Goez here. I am reporting live from downtown Los Angeles. Such a beautiful day out, and honestly, I love Mondays, which is super weird, I know. So it couldn't be a better time to do this live Q&A with you guys. I am here to talk about what it's like to be a young professional in the fashion industry and how to continuously find your passion in this crazy, crazy world. So while we slowly build up our audience, I'm gonna start talking a little bit about my background, what I do now, what I've done in the past, and a little bit about my academic background as well. So currently I work for Joe's Jeans, which is a premium denim brand based in Los Angeles, and I'm in the production department. Just a quick disclaimer though, I am not here to speak on behalf of the company or anyone who works for the company by any means. Everything that I'm sharing with you guys today is based on my personal experience, and it's just all about my own personal journey. So it's not affiliated with any company that I've worked for or the company I currently work for. Anyways, so other than Joe's, I actually have 2 degrees from the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. I attended the downtown LA campus that I can actually see from my balcony right now. My first degree was in apparel industry management, and the second one was an advanced study in international manufacturing and product development. So my background is very concept to completion heavy, which means I was fortunate enough to learn about everything from design and product development to production and sourcing, which is kind of where my path is right now. Outside of work, I dabble in a little bit of freelance styling, freelance design. I really like to content curate and create for social media purposes. So anything from, working with small LA brands to local influencers, conduct photo shoots, things like that, help with wardrobe styling. Absolutely love that. I do have some background in blogging as well. So I actually used to write for a New York-based fashion blog, kind of giving that LA perspective on things. So I try to keep my interests varied since what I do for a living is so analytical. So outside of it, I just do a little bit of everything. Other than work, I am very passionate about sustainability. So I actually volunteer here with an organization called Beyond the Label. I've been involved with their projects for just a little over a year now. So anything from social media and marketing strategies to being an advocate at different conventions or just supporting whatever event that they're putting on, whether it is a panel discussion or a movie screening, t-shirt exchange programs, things like that. So I'm really, really into that community, and I try to incorporate that passion that I have into everything that I do within the fashion industry. So that's really exciting. Just waiting for some of your questions to roll in. I don't know exactly what some of you guys are looking to do in the fashion industry, whether it is design or production or marketing or styling, anything like that. I just hope that I can help anyone and everyone who is looking to pursue the same or similar career path to mine. I can definitely say it's an exciting journey, and it's just the beginning for me too. So it's really humbling to be able to talk to you guys and kind of see what everyone is interested to hear about my own personal journey and perspective on things. So I guess I can talk a little bit more about my background before Joe's. I actually moved here from Canada. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, which is in the Northwest. I'm sure a lot of you guys don't even know where that is, which gives you an idea of what kind of beginning I had. I moved to LA with 8 hockey duffel bags, and I knew absolutely no one here. Didn't have any friends, family, let alone any connections. So it was definitely a matter of putting myself out there and getting as involved in the community as I could. One of my first positions here was actually an internship at a wholesale showroom, and that turned out to be a job later on. And I got to work with all these accounts, like all these huge retailers, such as Nordstrom and Saks, Neiman Marcus, Steinmart. And it was really all about relationship building with the buyers, encouraging any kind of product development projects that they were interested in pursuing with us. So we were working, it was a multi-line showroom, so we were working with a wide variety of product, which was really exciting. It taught me a lot, and all these skills that I acquired I actually still use to this day. My initial goal when I first moved to LA was fashion designing. So after I felt like I was done the whole wholesale account management chapter, I moved on to pursue a position in design. And I was working down here in downtown Los Angeles for a mass manufacturer. It was an outerwear manufacturer, so I got to design both men's and women's outerwear, which was awesome. And yeah, that was a really great experience. Ash just shared my video. Thank you guys so much for doing this. I really appreciate you guys joining me. Sorry, I'm like just telling you about my background, but I should probably just read the comments. Yeah, I really appreciate everyone being here and taking the time to just spend your lunch with me and ask me anything that you want to know about this type of career. Hopefully I can help at least one person today. That'd be awesome. So yeah, I know that people are still slowly rolling in, which is awesome. I'm really excited. I've never really done any like sort of live interaction like this, so it's definitely a first for me, so just bear with me as I do it. What is a brand that inspires me? So as I mentioned earlier, I'm really, really into sustainability, and that's something that I pursue through my volunteer work. So one brand that I've been really interested in is called Outer Known, and it was founded by Kelly Slater, the surfer. It's actually a menswear brand, so I'm not even the consumer for it, but what I really, really like about it is how they set up their supply chain, and everything is sustainable from the vendors that they use to the materials, so it was very carefully curated to be built that way. Another question, do you recommend people going to a program like FITM or FIT prior to being a fashion entrepreneur, and why? Personally, I do. I may be biased. I love academia, but I have to say, and I can only speak to FITM since I didn't attend FIT, but it's not only the hard skills that you're being taught in the classroom, you know, the theoretical stuff that you really need to understand and the terminology, but it's the network that you're presented with. What's really unique about FITM is that we have alumni all around the globe, so I could potentially call someone in Hong Kong and have a connection there if I wanted to, you know, potentially pursue a career there. So it's really unique in the sense that there's a sense of community, and FITM grads are known to be a very, you know, close-knit family that is really willing to help one another regardless of having met in person. So I think that it's not just the degree that you're getting, but also the network that's coming with it. Trade says, I love OC action sports wear type brands. Kelly Slater rocks. Is there any other type of environments prime for social change agent type fashion brands? I think that what you mean is like what other environmentally like involved brands, like what other brands are environmentally involved, like Kelly Slater's. Reformation is a huge one. Absolutely amazing. They use a lot of dead stock fabrics, and they're slowly trying to reduce their waste as well. They're known to use organic cotton and less harmful raw materials, so they're definitely at the forefront of doing this, and they're blowing up rapidly. So that's definitely a brand to watch in my opinion. Startup Champion, why do you think Nasty Gal go bankrupt? Why do you think Nasty Gal go bankrupt? Lessons any fashion entrepreneur can learn. That's kind of a difficult question to address about Nasty Gal and their bankruptcy. Definitely heartbreaking since the brand grew so fast. I think that one of the things that an entrepreneur should pay attention to is the scalability of the business. So it's really hard to set up a supply chain that's receptive to rapid growth, and I think that that must have been one of the main factors that the company itself wasn't ready for. having enough capital to fulfill larger orders as you go, since I'm assuming a lot of you guys know in fashion, you have to finance a lot of things way before you ever get paid for it. So, you're gonna have to pay for the raw materials, manufacturing, and the shipping, and only then it's about 30 to 120 days till you actually get your paycheck. So I think that that's definitely a huge thing. I think that another thing is just today's market is so saturated, and Nasty Gal's demographic was highly composed of tweens and millennials who aren't generally as loyal as others. So continuously engaging with them and coming up with new product is a challenge for a lot of companies that are targeting that market. So I think that must have been something that Nasty Gal was dealing with at the time. Have you ever pitched to investors or sponsors? Any tips if so? I haven't. What I can say is that I am fortunate enough to have a lot of people in my network that have, and a lot of people in my network that are successful in running their own businesses right now. And I think that one of the most important things is being able to not only communicate your ideas in a professional and creative manner, but also show an understanding of the market. As I said earlier, the market that you're going into now is the most challenging it's ever been because of how saturated it is, and because of the fact that the consumer demonstrates what I like to call consumer ADD. They can be exposed to so many things at once. So being able to articulate that to an investor and having a unique point of differentiation is something that's going to set you apart in a business pitch. Alrighty, sorry guys, let's see. What is the next for your own business? How can we help? Well, right now I am kind of dabbling in a little bit of everything. Since I'm working for Joe's Jeans in production, I really am in a very rapid growth phase of my own, picking up all the tools and skills that I need for any kind of setup of a small supply chain later on. So I have worked as a designer and I feel very comfortable with my design skills. So right now I'm trying to learn about sourcing and global production as much as I can. Having said that, if you guys can connect with me on social media and keep up with what I'm doing, that would be incredible, because you never know what resources we each bring to the table. I love, and I'm so inspired by the fact that everyone has such a wide skill set. So please keep up with me on social media. There's a link in the description, and I'll also get it for you guys at the end of this video. Let's see. Favorite books you could recommend to entrepreneurs and why? I know it's really cliche, but the E method is amazing. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs must have said that to you guys, but it really puts you in perspective in the sense of how to communicate your ideas to others, how to build and manage a team. I think that that's one of the more challenging parts of being an entrepreneur, more than just coming up with a great idea and being able to convey your point in an effective manner. It's also finding the right people to work with and recognizing other people's strengths and weaknesses as well as your own. I think that any strong leader has the ability to, acknowledge what they're capable of and what others should be, when to let others step in. Trisha, hey, what do you think those who are older than millennials can learn from millennials in regards to succeeding? I think that one of the most powerful tools that we have right now, that's also the cheapest form of marketing, is social media. And I think that generations who are older than millennials sometimes discount its power. I think that it's been proven to be an effective tool, not just to sell product, but to share ideas, to share experiences, inspire one another. And we live in a world where geographical borders are merely passport checkpoints. It's no longer where you are, and it's no longer the sole thing we identify ourselves by. So it's really interesting to see how generations who are older than millennials find their way into social media and become more comfortable with it. So it's really exciting. Anyways, I was just reading more comments. Again, thank you guys so much for being so lively and engaging with me. I am having such a good time, and I really hope that I'm answering all of your questions. And if anyone feels like they want to hear a little bit more about a topic that you've inquired about, I'd love to keep going. I just don't want to blab a little too long about anything. But yeah, this is such an exciting opportunity, and I'm so humbled to be here. So thank you guys so much for being so engaging. I guess another thing that I really wanted to talk to you guys about is what to consider when you're setting up a small supply chain in the fashion industry. And the way I see it and the way I kind of think about it is that I break it into different segments. So of course, first and foremost, your product. We are in the consumer goods industry. We play a large role in it. So having a good understanding of what it is you're trying to sell is obviously crucial to your success. Not only that, but you have to understand what purpose you want it to serve and how the market, what the market has to offer in that segment. Where do you see fashion and tech going? Well, excitingly enough, and that's actually one of my favorite parts, both about technology and sustainability and fashion coming together, is that there's a huge crossover now. I was just reading an article right before this about Avery Dennison, which is a large trim company, collaborating with a London-based designer and coming up with a whole line of interactive clothing and accessories. So they've incorporated the radio frequency identification system into 3D printing and came up with these accessories that can engage with you through your body temperature and give you all this information about where your garments come from and how they were manufactured, and just all this crazy information that until not that long ago you could probably even not find online. So I'm just seeing a lot of overlap between the two worlds, and it's really exciting to see how we've been utilizing all these technologies that may or may not be directly related to fashion and bringing them to life through the art and the design work that brands are working with. So that's really exciting. I just love the fact that we can now work with smart clothing and smart fibers, and I mean, more than just the fashion aspect of it, it's just the practicality and our ability to help communities around the world that don't have access to these things just by providing newer technologies and giving them all the the thermal fabrics and making tents that can retain heat. Those are all things that are happening because of discoveries in the fashion industries, but are completely crossing the borders outside of it. And I think that has to be one of the things I like the most about our business. How transparent, Trisha is asking, how transparent do you think brands should be with their supply chains? Well, again, being very involved in sustainability and promoting social responsibility, I encourage transparency, especially now with millennials having, being able to vote with their dollars. You're seeing that that's what they're asking. They want companies to tell them exactly where they're getting their raw materials. They want companies to share where those factories are. And it's becoming more than, it's a huge movement. It's kind of a trend right now that people are researching the origin of their garments. So I think that it not only would it be a unique point of differentiation in the market if you're setting up a smaller supply chain or a new business, but you're seeing it as a trend with companies like Nike and obviously like Patagonia and things like that. So I really do think that it's a huge selling point, especially with millennials, and I think that it's crossing the millennial generation as well too. So I mean, I'm very biased and I believe in transparency since it's a value I promote. Ash is asking, what is an area or product in fashion that has an opportunity to be a sustainable brand? To be honest with you, I think that any brand or product has the opportunity to do so. Thing is, companies are very hesitant to make any changes to their supply chain, which is understandable. It's very hard to change even a small part of an already running machine. So I think that even though any kind of brand, we're working with raw materials that a lot of them come from the ground. So we have the ability to control where they're coming from, or, who's touching the garment, whether it is, a safer environment for manufacturing, or, if we're using the right materials and providing the right overhead for employees. Those are all areas of opportunity for every existing brand. I'm actually proud to say that Joe's Jeans just started using recycled bottle material for our lining, which seems very insignificant because it's just pocket lining, but at the same time, when you're dealing with millions of units, that actually has the ability to make a huge impact on so many lives. So even if it's considered a small change, it's still a huge one, and it's an advance towards a bigger goal. So it's awesome. It's really exciting. Thank you for asking, Ash and Trisha. You guys are really awesome. In the meantime, I wanted to keep kind of talking about some maybe like challenges that I'm sure a lot of you guys are having going into the business, since it is so competitive and saturated. So I guess the first thing that you have to ask yourself is what exactly it is that you're looking for and what you're passionate about. It took me a while growing up to know what I wanted to do and how I wanted to go about it. Okay, yeah, sorry, I'm reading comments, so I'm getting distracted. Multitasking is hard, you guys. So it took me a while. When I was 6 years old, I knew I wanted to pursue a career in fashion. What that meant at the age of 6 clearly has significantly changed over time. And I've gotten to know myself as a professional in the industry through all these incredible opportunities that I was so fortunate to pursue, as well as, my academic journey. And over time, I've realized that I'm so incredibly passionate about the fact that in order for someone to truly succeed in the business and play a key role in it, they have to be immersed in not just fashion and keep up to date with brands and what they're up to, but also with societal changes and environmental changes, anything from the dynamic political landscape to where culturally we're moving towards. Trisha is asking, what resources do you think are missing to help a young professional or entrepreneur in fashion? Oh my goodness. I think that we do have a lot of resources at our disposal, in the sense that, the internet is so full of, incredible outlets like WWD and California Apparel News and all that. I do think that it would be interesting to start a platform for more of a collaborative environment for smaller businesses. I think that even today's trade shows are targeting much larger audiences, and it's really hard for smaller businesses who may not have the capital or may not have the orders to work with large minimums. So especially in a place like Los Angeles, where this is a community of entrepreneurs. Everyone's here for a dream and everyone wants to start their own thing. So it'd be really interesting to have a platform just for that is not targeting by any means the larger vendors or the larger brands, but is set up for the small business ventures. So yeah, you are seeing that happening slowly but surely, because I think due to social media, a lot of entrepreneurs have the ability to engage with one another and share resources, which is really exciting. But there hasn't been one big platform that has a large share of the market in that sense. So it'd be really interesting to explore an option of potentially doing that and helping other entrepreneurs out with your own tools. So that'd be awesome. I don't know what else, if there's any other questions. Thank you again for asking. It's awesome. In the meantime, I wanted to go back to the challenges, because I think that's one of the scariest things about this industry, is how saturated it is and how it's so cutthroat, and it's hard to find yourself, and it's easy to lose yourself. So I'm just very fortunate, like I said, to have found this passion of mine and understanding that you have to be fully immersed in so many different things in order to play a successful or a key role in this industry and make an impact. So whether it is you're passionate about telling a story and being inspired by architecture and travel, or you're more like me and you love the fact that working in production and sourcing, you have the ability to make an impact on communities. And, with one decision, you can create jobs. Our industry single-handedly generates other countries' GDPs. That's incredible. It's one of the most powerful realizations that I've only had in recent years, which seems silly since I've always known I wanted to be in this industry, but I never realized how impactful it really was. So I think that taking advantage of how powerful you realize the industry you belong to is a key role to continuously find your passion and find your passion in fashion, and never stop to seize any opportunities. Another really good piece of advice that I've received from my mentors when I first started, and had certainly proven to help me out was pursue every opportunity that comes your way. A lot of us creative types have a very specific idea of what you want and how you want to go about it. And I did, and I still do. And, I came to LA with this very concrete idea of what I wanted. And at first I wasn't so perceptive to, taking opportunities that seemed like they weren't really in line with my ultimate goal, which seems silly. So eventually I definitely did pursue things that may not have been directly related to design. And what's really interesting is not only did I learn more about myself in the industry, but I've acquired tools that I actually can use all across the board in every position in all aspects of the industry. So whether it is you want to go into design or styling, and then you get an opportunity in product development, for instance, or in social media strategizing, don't hesitate to take it, simply because you will utilize whatever skill set that you acquire through that position in your dream job. So you straying from the path of your dream job really doesn't mean straying. It just means that you're developing a much more well-rounded skill set, and that's going to make you a more desired employee, or just a more well-rounded entrepreneur in the future. Also, for anyone who wants to start their own business, it's important to understand what every single one of your departments is going to be doing. So you have to have some sort of experience, or at least an extensive knowledge regarding each and every department's responsibilities. Christine, hey Christine, she's asking, in such a cutthroat industry like fashion that praises workaholism, how do you suggest a young professional maintain work-life balance? That's a really great question, and it's so easy to get lost in this, and there's always something going on, and all of us being so passionate about what we do, it's kind of easy to forget that we're also human. I think that it's really important to find at least one thing that you can incorporate into your daily or at least weekly routine that is not work related. What I find to be very helpful is hiking. I love being outside. It helps that I live in Los Angeles and there's only one season here, which is summer, so I get to spend as much time outside as I can. So I try to go hiking a few times a week, and it's the 1 hour and a half of my week that I don't have my phone on me. I'm not checking emails. I try to stay away from social media as much as I can, although, we all do it for the gram and take some cool hiking pics. But I try to stay out of that for as long as you can and just unplug, for even if it means just for a moment. It's also, at least for me, I'm a very extroverted person. I draw my energy from surrounding myself by other people and being in very lively environments. So it really does help me to even do my work in places that aren't like a library or my apartment or an office. So if you can incorporate a social life into your professional life in some manner, let's say if you're a blogger and you have fellow bloggers working on content and you guys can all sit together at the same coffee shop and engage, that's a really great way to kind of break from the normal routine of work and engage and socialize with other people, especially since we all live online and it's really easy to not interact with people on like a personal physical level. So yeah, that's a really good question. Thank you for asking. And if anyone has other advice, I really would like to hear it. I have definitely found myself losing sleep and pulling all-nighters and living on coffee for far too long. So I think that I'm still kind of learning to balance the whole thing. And every once in a while I forget that I have to take a deep breath and go. But yeah, that is a huge challenge. And I've heard that from a lot of friends and colleagues in the business. So I want to hear everyone's opinions. And another thing that I wanted to share with you guys is just how important it is for you when you are starting your own business and your own small business supply chain is to surround yourself with the right people. And whether it is you're starting your own company and you have a product in mind and you need someone to help you facilitate the production of it, or you need a PR person or whatever it is, just always look and identify people with skill sets that are different than yours, and don't hesitate to work with people who are completely opposite of you. I think that's one of the best things I've learned about myself, is that I work really well with much quieter people sometimes who are much more creative than I am, and I provide like the analytical side of it. So it's really exciting to see what different personalities and different academic and professional backgrounds can bring to the table when you're setting up a new team. I don't know if I'm just waiting to see if there's any more questions. I don't want to miss anything. I feel like I keep having to look at the screen. But yeah, again, I'm so grateful for all of you guys being here and sharing this exciting lunch with me. This has definitely been a really great opportunity to share my own story, although it's just the beginning for me too. So I would love to hear anyone else's advice or, input on this, since I'm still figuring it out. And I feel very fortunate for all the opportunities that I've come across so far, and I can't wait to see what else is out there. And I think that one of the things I'm looking forward the most is just discovering what else I want to do in here. I started with a design heavy background thinking I never wanted to do anything else, and now I'm crunching numbers and I love it, and I work with Excel spreadsheets and with vendors, which is something that I really never thought I would enjoy. So I think that it's important to continuously just let yourself grow as a professional, and obviously, as a budding professional in this industry. Anyways, I think that our time is actually up. I just realized I didn't notice the time. Thank you guys so much for having me. It was such a pleasure. I'm so glad I got to answer some questions. I really hope I gave you some useful advice, and for any questions at all, you guys can find me on Instagram at callmenaomig. The link is also in the description of this video, and just get in touch with me, keep up with everything, and I would love to answer any other questions that you may have down the road. Thank you so much, guys.